Okay, so we're working on a MacBook today that doesn't turn on. It says won't turn on our paper, and we try to plug it in. See, the light turns orange. If we reset PRAM, you see it resets. Back to orange, but yet it doesn't turn on. No power. Most likely was liquid damaged. That's the feeling I have.
I don't think it's kind of like just small, like cup of water.
Yeah, the screws have been scratched, so most likely it was open before, but still looks pretty clean. So let's take the board out and inspect it.
Disconnect the back camera. Back camera? No, first disconnect the battery, then back camera.
Oh, actually, I do see some corrosion on the SSD right here. Yeah. Actually, yeah, let's remove the SSD and see if it turns on, because what if there's a short right there, and that'll be the end of it. No, no fan. Trying to reset SMC, and it resets it, but still doesn't turn on. Okay, let's take it apart. Okay, we'll unplug this one. No corrosion on this flex. No corrosion right here. Unscrew the Wi-Fi card. Undo the fan. Again, memorizing the size and the shape of the screws, because they're all slightly different. And now there's like 5 screws that are holding the motherboard, 6 down, so we just unscrew those. So that's the camera connector. Unplug that. And that screw actually was missing, the one that's holding the heatsink. So just removed it. So, and I'm inspecting the okay, it looks pretty clean.
What do you think we can try to make a restore?
Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty clean. Okay, so let's try one more time. Plugging in. Put this away, we don't need it. I'll just plug in the fan. Let me plug in a new or a different DC board, the one that I know works. And let's plug it in. Still nothing, right? Okay, let's see if we get any voltages on this thing. Okay, so let's check if we have the 12.6, and we don't. Oh, actually 8.5, yeah, we have it, 8.6. Okay, so we got that. We got a 3.3. And that's what we should have, 5 volts. We don't have that, and obviously the rest is not going to be present. No pulsation. .4 right here. Okay. So let's I see some minor corrosion right here. Let me actually inspect it on the microscope. Okay, what do we see on the microscope? And we see that this is our AFI chip or BIOS chip. Right here is our EFI chip, and this is something right next to it. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but that one has some corrosion right there. So let's clean it up. Let's clean it up with some alcohol. Cleaned up the whole area real good. And let's try one more time. thing. Let's see what we get on the BIOS chip. The black lead on the ground, the red one on the chip, and we go from the pin number 1. We get 3.2. The second one 3.2. The third one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the third one. Yeah, it looks like there's nothing now. Hold up. Oh, now it turns on. So I have a strange feeling that that area was the reason. Hey, these boards have a lot of like BIOS chip related problems lately that I have. So I'm just gonna check resistance on these couple of resistors. 15, and from the memory, just remember that those are fine. $25, $43. $43, that seems all right. So let's give it one more look at a microscope. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna reflow these 2 chips, or maybe even 3, just to be sure. We'll just add some flux. Yeah, and I'm using like an old MacBook Pro screen housing as like a little tray for soldering, just so that I don't burn my mat. So, okay, here are the chips I want to work on. air gun. Putting it on here. It's a Hacko 810, FR810. I'm putting the airflow to 2 and the temperature at about 450 or something. Yeah, 450. So let's see. That's the one that definitely has some corrosion. We're flying this one first. As they are moving, that means they're wrong. Okay. Let it cool off a little bit, and I'm going to clean up the flux. Okay, so let's try to power it on. And as you see, it turns on immediately. And I'll just double check what we have on the processor. 1.8. That's pretty much what we're supposed to have. This one is 5.1. That's correct. 1.2, I believe that would be our memory. And this is 105. That's also correct. I don't care about this one. And this one too. We have 8.6 on the backlight fuse, which is fine. Let's just double check if the original, well actually yeah, let's just put it back in the casing and see what wow, that looks like that was the simplest repair in a long time. Okay, let's just try it back in the casing. You see, I'm removing this cable along with the antenna, just because I feel that if you keep it there and you when you're installing the logic board back into the housing and you're screwing this one screw, you can actually pinch or damage the antennas here if you're not careful, if you don't pay attention, if you don't like align them or lay the cable properly in that area. Then when you're screwing down the screw, you can actually damage the antenna. So that's why I'm actually removing the whole Wi-Fi card with the antennas like that, so that the whole board is, you know, all the screws are properly exposed and easy to work on. Yes, it takes a few extra minutes to actually tuck the antenna cables back in, but that's you know, at least we're doing it in a safe manner. So I'm plugging in all the stuff back into the motherboard. The fan. The fan. Okay, I'm not screwing anything just yet. The keyboard and trackpad, this is the keyboard backlight right here. We got the speaker. We got the screen. And I will also plug in the Wi-Fi card just to make sure there's no problems with that. Our DC board flex cable plugged in. I'll do a little cleaning to the SSD card. Yeah, it looks like a couple of components are a bit rusty. Okay, so I'm plugging that in as well. Alright, I'll plug in the battery. Let me just put the casing on temporarily. And let's see what it does. Yeah, usually when you unplug the battery and turn the Mac for the first time, it might take a few extra seconds to turn on, but it seems that it actually did turn on. I heard the chime. Yeah, let me turn on the fan off. The exhaust fan. Okay, I heard the chime, but I don't see the image, and I don't see even like dark image, you know, when the backlight is off. Okay. Yeah, let me reset PRAM and SMC. Control option. Yeah, this is a European layout. Okay, I'm resetting, turning back on, and holding option command P and R. Trying to.
It says the system that can do it, but it's only the system. That one with the
Yeah, it's on. And again, I heard the chime, but yet I don't see the backlight or the image. It might be the SSD drive too. So let me unplug that. Still turning, unplugging the battery, removing the SSD. Oh yeah, it's pretty hot. Okay, it turns on immediately, and I see that there's okay, it looks like the screen turned black. There's no image. So let's wait a second and see if it gives us the flashing folder. Yeah, but this chip was pretty hot when I removed it. Yeah, I can see a dim image. Yeah, let me see if I have a tester SSD drive for this model. Yeah, it looks like I have one. I have one right here. So I'll just and that's a 256. Okay, let's shut it down. I don't know if it has an operating system on it, but let's see. I'm gonna reset PRAM too. Usually I do it for at least 2 chimes. Okay. Yeah, it looks like this drive is a little damaged. Okay, and yeah, this is our drive, our testing hard drive or SSD drive. So reading the battery properly. I have Wi-Fi. Let's go into system preferences. It's a early 2015 F256 drive. Serial number, everything's here. 4 gig RAM. Let's check battery. 230. You can also check the keyboard. Show keyboard viewer and then just go through the keys. Make sure all of them are responding. Looks like all of them are good. Okay, so let's have another look at that drive before we call it before we call the customer, and that will be it. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna check those capacitors that look corroded and see what they look like. Check the resistance. Yeah, this one looks pretty bad. It says 20 kilo ohms, so that should be fine. See that there's a little, this diode is burnt. So I've seen that before. This is a filter, I believe, and that shows 0.6, so that's got continuity on it. The other side, what do we see on the other side? Okay, we see this guy, that's pretty bad. And surprisingly enough, actually it does show 76 ohms. So that would be the problem. But I'm sure the fact that this thing is burnt right here, if you look close enough, zoom it in. If you look at Yeah, let me focus. Yeah, you can actually see that there's like a burnt dot right in the middle. Falling apart. I don't think we're going to be fixing that one. I don't have any donors right now for this one. It's falling. This component is falling apart. It's not short. It's actually reading like 300 kilobytes. I'm sorry, kilo ohms, kilobytes. But I don't have another SSD card like that to grab those parts from to try. So, and I'm not even sure that it's gonna fix it because we've tried that before with this same component. That same component was burnt. We replaced it, and it didn't change much. So just because it's all so sealed and everything, yeah, I would probably do remove this capacitor just to be sure because it's definitely a bad one. But we'll. Oh, there's more corrosion right here. But we will. Residue, but we will first talk to the customer and see if they wanna, want us to try and save the information from this drive. And if yes, we'll try to proceed. If not, then we'll just offer them a replacement SSD, and that will be the end of the repair. So, yeah, that was pretty quick and easy. To sum it up, basically, when the computer is dead like that and it looks pretty clean, you want to look for like the very minute, the super tiny spots of corrosion that sometimes are really hard to spot. You want to look under microscope or with a magnifying glass, or maybe even use your phone zoom option like through the camera. Whatever tools you have to actually amplify the image to zoom it in, and then inspect slowly in like little areas and little chunks, because that usually is all it needs. I mean, we could have thrown this board into the Branson ultrasonic cleaner, and it would most definitely clean it up. Clean that little corrosion up that we saw next to the BIOS chip, but again, we didn't do that, and we kind of decided to do it manually. So that's the end of it. And again, when it's dead like that, it's probably like the third or fourth logic board Air from the MacBook Air 2013 through 15 that had some BIOS related issues. It was like completely, good looking for the most part, but then when we look close enough to the BIOS chip, we'd see something missing, or something, that would be like a broken trace, or a resistor will be reading a different reading, or I would check all the voltages on the BIOS chip, and one of them would be missing again, and that's due to either a broken trace or a bad resistor. So make sure that before you go crazy, you inspect the BIOS chip very closely and do all the measurements in that area first when you have like no activity past the 3.3 volt. Like if it stops at that stage, usually it's because the BIOS chip is not sending the proper commands, I guess, for the motherboard to start. Okay, thanks for your time. Subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.